What's up all you lads and ladies? Welcome to another fascinating video in the world of Reddit. If you liked the video, post your favorite Reddit comment below, and I'll give you a shout out in my next video. Thanks to Rocco Cool in my last video who commented that I am desperate. Oh Rocco, my #1 fan. If you only knew the half of it. Hope you enjoy this video about gender equality. Buckle up folks. This is going to be a bumpy ride. True gender equality will be marked by nonchalance towards, not celebration of gender. If true gender equality comes to fruition, then what it will mean is that people will stop giving a frick about one another's gender. Everyone would have equal opportunity, treatment, respect and appreciation, while being judged based on character, ability, personality and other proper grounds based on the situation. There would be no need for gender-based celebrations, since all related hurdles would have already been crossed. What will be celebrated though, is mankind coming one step closer to overall human equality. Thank you. Equality happens when no one is special or celebrated for their differences. Or like, everyone is celebrated for what they contribute. Which seems better. When you have to celebrate something, it is not normal, it is special. Birthdays, wedding anniversaries, all kinds of yearly or common events are celebrated. Yes, they are special, but they're also normal. While I agree with the overall basis of the OP, I do think people's contributes to society are generally worth celebrating. Especially in a world that feels so divided, I think it's nice to celebrate people in general when they do good at. It reminds us that we aren't always a giant dumpster fire of a society. I agree that we should celebrate people for the good things that they contribute to society, but does gender really contribute anything good to society? It just seems like such an insignificant thing to me. All it is a label, pronoun. It's just such an abstract concept that I don't see it being worthy of celebration, especially when you compare it to traits like kindness, intelligence, compassion, hard work, etc. We should celebrate people for their character, not their pronouns. While this is true as an end goal, the process of getting there can only be accomplished by addressing the inconsistencies, problems and sometimes outright sexism faced by both sexes. At the moment there's just a bunch of people on both sides plugging their ears and pretending the other's problems don't exist. As such, the only way to get them to help address these issues is screaming at them. It's the same reason prides are so important to the LGBT community or civil rights rallies to minorities. Now I'm not saying that we need men pride or woman pride rallies. That's ridiculous. But breaking down the barrier in communication is the first step. Yeah, being apathetic about such differences isn't going to help get people there. Not having to celebrate it is the end game. Because when people are accepted, there's no need to celebrate it. The problem is these people often aren't accepted. Celebrating it is to support people that need it. Correct. But you're arguing end state against how do we get to end state. I am not saying it's actually this simple, but the opposite opinion is that we must push hard for one side in order to swing the pendulum back towards the center. Since it's currently so far in one direction. Only then can we actually reach a point where people can stop caring. I do think people take this idea way too far to the point of regression, but it does have merit. You can't just expect people to wake up one day and think differently. This exactly. It's a big part of our culture right now to celebrate women and that's because for so long they were told they could never be anything other than a subservient housewife. And that's without even going into other cultures and the way women have been repressed for centuries. If we just ignore that, it's not equality. These movements are about finally getting people onto an equal footing, not actually thinking women are better than men. Whenever that finally happens, then yay we can go about doing what OP thinks we should be doing. It's what everyone thinks we should be doing. This isn't an unpopular opinion. Other people can just see that everyone is not equal and ignoring that fact won't magically make everyone so. Why not both? Treat everyone as having equal rights and value, but still appreciate the profound differences between men and women. Some people disagree with the fact that there even are differences. Some argue differences are completely socially constructed. We just all need to find a way of getting everyone on the same page. Some people agree with science. Some pick and choose the bits that fit their narrative. I feel the same way about the equality of sexuality as well. People shouldn't have to come out if it's equal, but it isn't. Gender equality is not a literal thing. Men and women will always be different. It is about equality of opportunity and acceptance of differences, including the willingness to understand the things about each other that make genders different, but not better or worse. Unfortunately, this is untrue. There are differences between males and females. If we just say we are all the same, deep down we are skirting around issues that already exist and will continue to exist. I'm not saying we should be proud or celebrate ourselves. I am saying we need to identify the differences, and if we don't or just ignore them entirely, we won't end up with equality at all. Celebrating the differences is perfectly fine, but saying X is better or worse than Y is the actual fundamental issue. Things are different. Let's talk about it and think about it rather than putting one another down. Yes, that would be true human equality. However, true human equality would only happen if people were actually equal, or not different. On the contrary, there are very many differences between men, women, transgender people, non-binary people, etc. Biological differences, yes, but also between every individual human being there are bodily, social, emotional, and mental differences as well. Two different men which identify as men are still not equal, because they innately have differences, advantages, disadvantages over others. That's why gender equality as a social movement isn't about sameness and ignoring difference in X or gender. It's about equity, which is about fairness in the face of difference. That's why, instead of homogenizing all human beings as the same, we should be appreciating differences between genders, between people in general. Gender inequality comes from the hierarchy of social power and status based on the idea that masculinity, traditionally masculine qualities, and biologically identified males are above femininity, traditionally feminine qualities, and biologically identified females as well as other genders. In order to destroy the hierarchy, we can't be blind to the differences between the groups at the different levels of the hierarchy. We have to raise people to the same level by acknowledging what makes them different, why they are oppressed by social hierarchies, and how to eliminate the subconscious, conscious, systematic, and discriminatory ideas, traditions, and structures that perpetuate their oppression. Agreed, and I think eventually we'll get there. But for now I say celebrate your sexuality. There's still too many brainwashed or uneducated homophobes out there. The best part of pride parades is seeing all the pissed off hicks that think people take them seriously. I don't think you'll ever eliminate homophobia, because people suck, but I'm sure one day it will be extremely rare. That's why I wish everyone would stew about it. Of course, and hopefully we'll get there eventually, but we're not going to get there without fighting. Acting like we're already in a great situation where gender is no big deal only upholds the status quo. We have to make it an extremely big deal for a while in order to successfully root sexism and, or transphobia, whichever one you're talking about, out of our cultures and get to a point where people's genders are inconsequential enough to stop being worth worrying about. Celebrating marginalized identities can be a really important part of the process, because people who are treated as less than others in society at large often need more support or specific communities of like-minded people to compensate for that. Pride and LGBTQ activism in general is an excellent example of community organization and celebration being an important step in the process of normalizing marginalized identities to the point where mainstream society very slowly starts learning to treat members of that marginalized community more like everyone else. But how will I get attention if everyone in social media has no idea that I'm a panexual demi-romantic gender fluid trans mask dude? Did you just say mankind women can be kind too? We need to stop pretending gender differences don't exist. There are two genders, male and female. It is not transphobic to say that a trans woman is not the same as a biological woman and a trans man is not the same as a biological man. It is fact. People deserve respect. Ideologies based on fantasy do not. Since I am speaking truth, I am ready for my down votes. Make sure to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell like it owes you money. Remember to post your favorite Reddit comment from the video for a chance to be featured in my next video. I hope you enjoyed this fantastic video about life advice. Show a small channel some love by liking and subscribing. Take care. Pip pip cheerio. Much love from me, Matt British.